back down here in the factory. This is Friday. So this is day 4 of the big dig. It's lunchtime. We just got done eating lunch. We're making pretty good progress, I think. We got one of the pits dug out for one of the machines. We got the stair steps done. We got all the shoring dug out. The shoring guys the crew's finishing up. They're cleaning up their stuff. I think they're gonna be done with it. We're gonna go back down in the hole and dig some more. I don't think we're not going to finish it today. Most likely going to be Monday or something like that. But anyway, back down in this hole here. We don't want to get too close to that edge.
Beams.
Okay.
That I need to take it out. Can you help me?
Yeah, I'll get them out.
I have a truck already down there.
I can throw them up. Okay. Anyway, this guy's got a couple of beams. We had some that were extras. We still got 2 of them buried. We didn't dig them up, but I imagine we'll figure that out. Anyway, these guys got strapped up, ready to go. This one. Anyway, we are, like I say, I got that one dug out. We got dug through in between them. Where the beams were down in there. So we're getting ready to have to lay out the next set of steps. You can see where that bucket's at. Or those 2 buckets actually. 2 buckets over there. Those are actually foundation. There's going to be a stairway that sits on top of that. The way the plan looked, it's kind of weird. I think the stairway's like 9 foot wide. I might have actually missed the. Help this guy get this beam in there. Better than that. Get it up a little bit. what that is. And this one's gonna be identical. Same thing. We had a we had a sump pit down in the bottom, and by the time I realized where it was at, I couldn't reach it and get square with it, so we kind of punched it out. It's not quite straight enough. Whoop. Sorry. Kind of got a little bit too close to his bucket there with my tooth. Rattled it a little bit. Anyway, old B95 is just slinging dirt. We're just going and going. I'm sitting down in this hole at I'm about 4.5 feet below finished floor, or 4 feet. I think I'm 4.5 feet below finished floor. But that makes it way easier to dig this 12'6" deep. And the way we had to do it was not, I mean, I've not ever done one quite like this. So it's a little bit new. It's a new experience for me, but it's really nothing other than just kind of using common sense and making good use of what you got, making good, you know, try to make good decisions. So I think we've been, for the equipment we got, I mean, you could probably look at it and say a big excavator could have done it faster. Maybe, I don't know. Doesn't really matter because the customer wanted me to bring a backhoe and come out here and dig it. So they're happy, I'm happy, it's all good. Like I say, we're going to have 5 days in it. Probably before it's over with, maybe 5.5, I don't know. But for the size of this deal, that's not so bad. I'll probably get this one dug out today. Well, maybe not. I might not finish this one today, but we'll do what we can. We got a little bit of hard rock right in there. The good news is, so far, it's not where we need to be on it's not at a place that's critical. So basically there's one machine sits over there in that bay, and then this, the only reason we dug this out here is it makes it easier for the guys working down in this hole to move around. I mean, they can go from one side to the other and not have to worry about climbing out, climbing back in. Once they're down in the bottom, they can just pretty much stay down there and work. The steps on this side of the pit, these are my random, what would you call it, just for safety and maybe appearance a little bit. This one here is kind of an odd duck because there's a set of steps on the end of that I dug out. I couldn't dig steps on the other end because we were out of room. We didn't have room to put them in down there. Because by the time you get the footing, I mean, it's pretty close to the end of that dig. So you can kind of see the slopes. There's a slope going down and a slope going the other way. That's my Salisbury switchback. What I'm gonna call that. Kenny Salisbury, the boring guy, he's a friend of mine. I went and saw one of his bore pits, and he had really neat little, he didn't put steps, he put ramps in there, and he had them at a pretty nice easy angle where you wouldn't be stressed out to walk up out of it. So anyway, I thought that was a pretty neat way to do it. These are a little bit too steep, but I didn't really have room to put anything in there. The reason I put those in there was for the, as you can see, it ends there at about the middle of that, the lagging, about where that pink mark is. That's where, that was our first depth. That was where we dug out to the first dig around this. And then they put all those boards in, and we came back and dug out down to the bottom. And we got into some pretty hard stuff, so they didn't really run the boards all the way to the bottom. That stuff down there in the bottom is not going to move. It's a decent sandstone material. I wouldn't say it's really a hard rock, but it's got enough. It's not going nowhere. And what else? We took an early lunch today because we had to let them guys finish up in that corner. They had just a little bit more there to... We didn't have it dug out for them. They would have done it, but we didn't think we needed to go that far until we got our layout in. And then once we got our layout in, we realized that, hey, we're going to have to go all the way to that last column, all the way to the bottom, or that last pier. And I guess some might argue that that's not a safe, I don't know. That end down there is questionable, but I don't know how else to, given our current situation and where we're at on this hole, I mean, we've only got so much concrete sawed out to work in. So, you know, it's one of those deals, just pretty much, that's what we got, that's where we're at. Could it be better? Probably. Is it safe? Yeah, it's safe. That's mainly what we're concerned about, is if it's safe. What I'm going to do now is just kind of smear off the top of this and flatten it out and get it to where we can lay out our steps, try to find the ends of them. Luckily we've got a guy here with a, they call it a robotic, I think it's a robotic total station. It's not, maybe not a total station, but it's a robot. There is a, you can see the machine up on the tripod that's blinking. That automatically follows him around everywhere he goes with that stick. So it's pretty cool. Actually, I might go ahead and dig this corner off before we probably should take a little more of this corner off of here. Anyway, he can go anywhere on this job into this building, and that thing will tell him where, in relationship to the points on his CAD drawing, he's standing. And of course, he's got control points he has to set up and check, make sure he's right. But once he's got it set up, it's pretty much accurate. I think to within a quarter inch or so, maybe more than that, or less than that. Anyway, pretty neat deal. They're gonna raise the laser up so we can get shots on these steps, so they're not having to carry around a 15-foot story pole. Anyway, they're stacking all this dirt inside the building, which I think they're going to have way too much dirt. They need to be hauling a bunch of this off, but they're not yet. They're going to do that later. So Makes for a really dusty job site being inside a building with earth moving going on. Pretty happy to be inside a cab on this backhoe. Got somewhat filtered air. I'm sure the diesel smoke's still getting through it, but the ceilings are pretty high. It's not really like we're confined and choking, but it is dusty in here. Don't know of anything else that's worth it talking about, but kind of an odd deal. I mean, the way the machine sets up in this hole, it's got a, they're going to be pouring a floor, they're going to be pouring walls for the machine to set on, foundations under it, but it's going to have access inside of it, down inside of the basement, I guess you'd call it. But each machine will have its own basement. They won't be completely separate after this is done. There won't be, they're going to backfill, and then this will all be concreted back in around the machines. Probably in about a year you won't even know who's ever in here. Everything we did will be covered up, and never be seen. But anyway, pretty neat deal. I mean, it's been a grind a little bit trying to stay ahead of the shoring guys and work around just obstacles that, you know, trying to figure out how this is going to all work out. I mean, looking at it now, it looks pretty easy. Like, we might have had this plan from the get-go, but we really didn't. I mean, when I first got here, I knew we'd get through it. I just didn't know for sure how we was going to do it. I mean, it's one of them things that you just kind of got to sort it out as you go, figure out a plan, figure out a game plan, and you know, go with it. I think our game plan changed a couple times. I was going to put I don't know what I was thinking. I think the best thing we decided to do, and the thing that kind of turned it around for me, was when we finally figured out that the top step of that staircase is where I'm sitting, basically. The bottom head is where we're sitting. We kind of figured out that if we could get that depth all the way across where I could sit up, then things go better. So that's one less step that we have to dig, and then basically that's you know, that's a good spot. I mean, it's a little bit over 4 foot deep for safety, but you've also got a lime stabilized subgrade under that pad, and you've got rock, and you've got, I guarantee you that stuff's not going to move. That was pretty tough digging, some of that. It was not easy. Started, I didn't know if I was going to be able to even do this job. I mean, it was just looking at it and just thinking, how am I going to do it? How am I going to get my dirt out of that hole 12 foot deep? And how are we going to get the, you know, all the lagging, all the shoring in there? How's it all going to happen? And, you know, next time I do this, I'll have a better handle game plan, I think. But like I say, this is just digging different than anything I've ever dug before. Normally, if I dig a hole that deep, we're going to stair step it all the way around it. Which the actual footprint of that machine's not real big. But we've got, everything's overdug, so they've got room in there to set forms up. And that makes it easier on me. These footings don't have to be 100% exact. I mean, it's good to have the benches where they need to be, because, or the steps, because they will actually pour concrete up against the bottom of those. So there is some of it that's actually earth form, I guess. But a lot of the edges, you know, that's all going to be formed out of plywood or whatever, lumber. Anyway, just living a dream, man, living a dream. I think we're about ready to, I might get back there a little bit more. I need to get the corner cleaned out at the bottom. Has kept me busy. I haven't had a lot of downtime. Which is kind of the way I like it. Day goes by faster if I'm busy on the sticks anyway. I mean, seems, I don't know. Whenever I go run the dozer, I kind of get bored, I guess. I mean, I do like running a dozer, but like, I think there's a little bit different. I don't know. I guess I'm wired different. I don't know. My brain don't think the same as some people. And I guess my brain's kind of been conditioned to be trying to hit a target with a bucket every 15 seconds or sometimes 10 or whatever. So when you're on a dozer, you get a blade full of dirt and you just kind of sit there and you wait until you get to the end of the bush and then you level things up. I mean, tree work's a little different. It's a little bit more, trees are always fighting back, so you got to make quick decisions on that. But anyway, just different, there's different types of work. Just about as soon be doing this as anything else, I guess. I think it's all right. Someday I might figure out what I want to be when I grow up, but in the meantime, I'm gonna keep doing this. Whoa, hit that gun. Getting sloppy there, Franco. I think we might have some hard rock we're going to have to deal with here. That sucks. like to dig rock with a 30-inch bucket. This stuff's been kind of shattered pretty easy, so I don't think we're going to have that big a problem. Might. I'd almost bet you there's going to be a spot in here that we just can't hardly get down the grade. Almost guarantee you at one point something's going to give us trouble. So far everything's went really smooth on the dig. Really no breakdowns yet, no downtime yet. I tried my best to make sure that I was ahead of the shoring guys, and I think they were pretty happy about that, because I think they've been on jobs where they're waiting and waiting and waiting, and then all of a sudden they got to run in there and hurry up and get stuff done. Well, at least this way they could just come to work and work all day, and I think it worked out pretty good for everybody. See, I can reach the bottom of the hole all the way across sitting right here, so that really makes life easy. Now what's going to get tricky is when I get to that corner, that far corner where my ramp's at behind me. When I get to that point, it's going to be a bit difficult to figure out, you know, how to dig that. That last hole's going to be hard. The first two are going to be easy. But there's a cutout in the concrete up on the left, and actually that's got to dig out too, but they messed up on the saw cut. I guess they missed the mark on it. They've actually got to come in and saw cut 3 more little notches, and then that's going to dig back too. So that the staircase deal, it will come on out past that edge. That might make more sense. Just looking at it, it runs into itself. But anyway, that's what's up there. Steer guy keeps pushing just a little bit back in the hole, which it's hard to keep it all up on top, but you know, a little frustrating sometimes. So I think we're about ready for, yeah, I can take some more out of here. Like I say, there's not much, this job's just going. I mean, But to keep them moving, you kind of got to be thinking ahead a little bit. You got to be thinking, you know, if this can happen while that's happening or whatever. But overall, it's pretty simple, just common sense stuff. But that's probably going to be too high right there. seals. They'll be connected to that little red box up there. That little red box will tell it where to put its bucket. Technology's pretty cool, but it's something that doesn't always work.